The story of a man inspired by a movie to carry out 19 bank robberies in Seattle during the 1990s is now being told in a Netflix documentary called How to Rob a Bank. Between 1992 and 1996, William Scott Scurlock stole around $2.3 million while wearing a range of elaborate disguises, which allowed him to evade police and earned him the nickname Hollywood. The 41-year-old, who was inspired to carry out the crime spree by the movie Point Break, ended his own life as police chased him in Seattle's Ravina neighborhood in November of 1996. The documentary included interviews with Scurlock's friends and accomplices, as well as those who reported on the story as it unfolded, and the police who tried to catch him. The day Scott was killed, the Seattle Times reported that his friends and acquaintances were left shocked after hearing about his crime spree, and his own lawyer Sean Newman was quoted as saying, "He wasn't a rough-type personality. He was very well-mannered. He was an interesting guy. If you were to see him on the street, even if he didn't shave for a couple of days, he still looked good. He was very physically fit." That view appeared to resonate with many, as the local news would also report the robber as intelligent, athletic, and engaging. He was, however, quiet about his private life, which included a period of time working as a drug dealer. Although when his supplier was killed in 1990, it was time for a change, and the bank robbery movie starring Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze offered inspiration. Scurlock's first stick-up happened on June 25, 1992 at the Seafirst Bank in Seattle's Madison Park neighborhood alongside Mark Biggins. He was pictured in a variety of suits and prosthetics, often carrying out the heist on his own while waving a handgun, although despite carrying the gun, no one was ever hurt during the various robberies. Scurlock would return to that same bank alone and rob it again, but in a different disguise, before going on to raid others around the city in the years to come. Law enforcement, including the FBI, noticed the similarities between these heists, and the nickname Hollywood was born. According to the Washington Secretary of State, Scurlock spent a lot of his money around town, while also giving it away to environmental causes, thinking of himself as a Robin Hood character. Despite multiple attempts to catch him between 1994 and 1996, Scurlock managed to evade law enforcement, that is until Thanksgiving later that year. On November 27, 1996, Scurlock and his associates walked into the Seafirst Bank in Lake City, but unfortunately a teller recognized him and pressed a silent alarm as the robbers forced those inside to get onto the floor while they raided the vault for cash. As they left, a customer watched the robbers and reported the getaway vehicle to police, who were then able to pursue them, even as they ditched the car for a van. When officers from the Puget Sound Violent Crimes Task Force managed to flank the vehicle and bring it to a stop, Scurlock got out and fired his gun at officers. That's when the cops fired back but were unable to hit the suspect, who then got back into the vehicle and plowed it into a nearby home before fleeing on foot. His two co-conspirators, Steve Myers and Mark Biggins, were found inside the van with non-fatal gunshot wounds. Police searched the neighborhood for Scurlock, including the home of 85-year-old Wilma Walker, although they found no sign of Scurlock and eventually moved on. With that being said, Wilma's two sons, Robert and Ronald, who were visiting for Thanksgiving the following day, had heard about the manhunt and the $50,000 reward for his arrest. You see, the boys had a gut feeling and they knew the officers didn't check the camper, which was parked on their mom's property. Ronald took a peek inside and spotted someone who matched the description of the robber and immediately called the police. When they arrived, they surrounded the camper and attempted to get inside, but at that time a gun went off, so officers opened fire. After waiting a while with no sign of life, they forced their way into the camper and found Scurlock had not aimed his gun at them, but at himself. He was dead. Later, FBI agents found a secret underground room where he stored all of his disguises, as well as some of the stolen cash. Fast forward to 2024, now Scurlock's story is being told through interviews, cartoon-style storyboards, as well as dramatized reenactments of the robberies. The documentary, lasting around an hour and 30 minutes, premiered on June 5th, so make sure you guys go check it out, and make sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching.